One of the most core parts of a Friday Night Funkin' mod is voice acting. After all, without a voice, how will your characters make an impact in a game about music? Although today the revelations and progressions of AI and other things seem to threaten the future of voice actors, they have continued to have an online presence, and due to their contributions, some have even made careers out of it. But again, as other Friday Night Funkin' tales have shown us, not everyone is worthy of a career. Some will take that opportunity and act upon their darkest urges, abusing their power often upon minors. So what do you get when a voice actor for an FNF mod, viewed by thousands, is exposed by multiple people with a lot of messages? Simply put, you get a shit show. This is the downfall of Krakhous. Over here on the Toastify channel, when we cover deviants in the FNF community, the people we usually look at have platforms that amount to a few 100,000. Usually these people will be YouTubers, animators, artists, or developers, but for Krakhous, what we have here is a very different case to look into. A voice actor does not have a catalogued past like an artist leaving a trail of drawings, because they just do their work for other people and just continue existing online. They usually don't catalogue their voice acting work on their own platforms either, making it much harder to trace their online footprint. Also keep in mind that Krakhous is only known today because of one piece of work they did on a decently popular mod, as well as the details of these allegations. Their channel still had less than 1,000 subscribers at the time of their so-called cancellation. Regardless, the Wayback Machine came in clutch. Not a lot is known about Krakhous' past online other than just being someone online. We know they might come from and currently reside in Russia from their Steam account, but for most of their online career, they were just a random wanderer of the internet viewed as nothing more than another statistic. Nothing really stood out about them, but from this old archive screenshot of her channel before it got hacked by Bitcoin scammers, we can make out a few things. For example, their SoundCloud, originally under the name Toki6969, where they made music. Unfortunately, it was probably so ass that no one wanted to archive it. Krakhous mainly just chilled online by posting memes for most of their online presence, some of which got a decent amount of views from time to time, but that was it. All they really did all day was just play games and exist, with Twitter art as a sort of side hustle.
We're stuck in the ground, by the way. Hold on, let me fix. I think I broke the wheel. Hop in, loser.
Did you not hear that noise? Oh my,
no.
Oh my fucking god.
Then, in August/September 2021, Krakhous personally decided that they wanted to do something, be somebody online, and turn their life around. One of their skills was sound. They specialized in sound design, audio, all of that, and they wanted to put that towards a project. And immediately, they got something. A few months ago, a team of people headed by artist Aito Saihara had begun their work on a passion project. It was an FNF mod called Antipathy, with characters based on the Madness Combat Newgrounds series, which is where Cricky the Clown comes from, contrary to what Google search will tell you. Known for its cartoonist yet incredibly gory and mature violence, it seemed perfect for an adaptation into Friday Night Funkin', and that it became. It's unclear how Krakhous managed to get into the mod due to archives being deleted, but what we do know is that Krakhous was officially credited as the voice of Tricky, as well as being responsible for sound effects. And when the mod released in late September to considerable praise and acclaim, Krakhous' Tricky voice and sound effects were praised by listeners, and she started to gain a decent amount of followers. In September, Krakhous had around 1,000 followers, but by mid-December, she had more than tripled that, reaching 3,500 followers on Twitter. FNF Antipathy's success had also earned them some places, as Krakhous also became involved in the B3 mod as well. In summary, a pretty decent rise, considering the obscurity Krakhous has been dwelling in for years. But if you're a viewer of this channel, you know how these stories end. On December 16, 2021, an individual by the name of Karl came out with his experience regarding Krakhous. The document's overall message states that Krakhous sexually abused Karl for a duration of time. Karl was 15, whilst Krakhous was 18, although many people believed her to be in her mid-20s. Karl also has DPD. The document begins by telling the public on how the two had met in the first place. Hello, my name is Karl, and I'm going to share my experience with Twitter user Krakhous. Krakhous and I were very close friends and became close because he reached out to me after a vent tweet where I was asking if people would miss me if I killed myself. She offered me comfort and I opened up to them about my past experiences with grooming and sexual assault in a time where I really needed it, as my two friends I would often go to were uncomfortable with sexual assault and grooming, as they were both survivors of it. She would occasionally call me cute or call me pet names, which I was fine with. Pet names and compliments make me feel safe, like I can trust the person. Krakhous is 18, however I believed her to be in her 20s at the time, and I'm 15. I looked up to her like a guardian, a protector and a best friend, but as much as I loved her, I can't let her get away with this. Karl's statement continues as he starts to detail his experience with Krakhous whilst on one of the Discord calls together. One time she called me on Discord and we started talking and she mentioned how she had a boner because she was before the call but didn't finish. We laughed it off and I went back to playing Cookie Run. She then mentioned how she had videos of her masturbating on her phone and joked about sending them to me. I said she probably shouldn't, that it's illegal and she could get in trouble, but she eventually did after I caved because she was persistent with the topic of the videos on her phone, and she told me not to screenshot because she trusts me. Wait, the fuck? I was reacting to the of course not help. Not the penis I'm not, about seeing your cock. Delete those messages hey. Karl, I think I have a bad vape because this one's leaking shit into my mouth. Ugh, hi. The thing on my priv is easy to pass off as a joke, don't worry. Yeah, just remove that silly little thing from your memory though. I mean, not really. It's something that shouldn't happen though. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. I know, but it's probably best not to talk about it for a while, because it's like, also delete that please. I'm sorry, I'm just like H. Paranoid because of Jolly? Yeah, I feel gross. I barely have any proof because she was very strict about us deleting messages of our sexual exchanges, but she also made sexual remarks about me before. I remember one instance in which she was talking about sex or something, and she said, I wonder how much it would take to break you, referring to her dick. She would also enjoy riling me up sexually on calls, saying things in voices I found attractive. I remember an instance where I told her to stop because it was making me horny, and she said, or what, darling? I'm sorry that I had to come forward about this, but I just wouldn't be able to live with myself if Krak got away with this and exploited another child just like this. Only 5 hours after Karl's first document exposing Krakhous, another person would out her for the predatory actions she'd committed on individuals younger. This person was known as PsypherSoda and put out a selection of screenshots. In this first set of screenshots, Krakhous, 17, is documented sending nudes of himself to Cypher, who is 15 at the time. I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. Whoops. Just for you. My face is so red. However, less than 2 weeks after this message, Cypher confronts Krakhous about a situation they got themselves into. On the night Krakhous turned 18, she messaged a 13-year-old friend of themselves with nudes. You have every right to be mad at me. He was 13. I've stood back and decided not to contact you to fuel the anger you have towards me. I will get my hands on you and strangle you to death. Here, please let your anger out. I want you to let it out. You deserve this. I want you to tell me the truth. Were you 18? At the time it happened? Yes. I will not use it against you. It was just after midnight on the 11th, so yes. I guess I was still in the mindset of a child. Thank you. Alright, I understand. That you forced them to send thigh pics and shit. You can't fucking force someone to physically take pictures of the internet. I know. Unless you had blackmail, which you don't. None of us really do. I'm sorry for everything. No need to be. You sure? Yeah. Okay. Did you even know that they were 13? Honestly, thought they were like more your age. Feel free to interpret Krakhous' statement whichever way you want to. I tend to take it with a pinch of salt, considering Krakhous did previously lie about her age. In the subsequent screenshots, Cypher and Krakhous are seen role-playing. Another screenshot also shows Krakhous' paranoia when Cypher defends her. I said it, but they're not a groomer if they didn't groom anyone. Why? Fuck. Cecil, this could backfire on me. No, it can't. Why? This stress is gonna kill me. It was during the same day of December 16th that another series of screenshots came up, dating from the previous month. This thread involves Krakhous' interactions with a 14-year-old. Krakhous, as we mentioned before, is 18 at the time. Screenshot 1 has Krak referring to the 14-year-old as a fleshlight they'd use. Screenshot 2 shows Krakhous sending pornography to this individual that she saw on her timeline. Screenshot 3 shows a conversation where Krakhous accidentally sent an explicit drawing of their character Plasma pouring monster energy on their penis. Screenshot 4 refers to an explicit picture that Krakhous sends to this 14-year-old. Screenshot 5 shows Krakhous and the 14-year-old talking about another explicit picture that someone else has drawn, assumedly of Krakhous' OCs. However, it is unclear whether Krakhous did actually send this image. Screenshots 6, 7, 8, and 9 include Krakhous talking about having porn of their characters up on their screen and alluding to it, eventually sending them a drawn explicit picture. Screenshots 10 and 11 include the discussion of a crying fetish. Screenshots 12, 13, 14, and 15 show more explicit discussion, including an incident where Krakhous again shows the 14-year-old pornography of their character. Screenshot 16 shows Krakhous talking about committing suicide because of drama regarding an FNF modder by the name of Neon Vor. The 14-year-old responds late but desperately messages them, to which Krakhous' response is calm down. Screenshots 17 and 18 show Krakhous urging on said 14-year-old to draw pornography, with one of the requests being another person they both know, who's been kept anonymous. Screenshot 19 has Krakhous blatantly sending the 14-year-old another explicit image of their character Plasma, again involving Monster Energy. Screenshot 20 seems to end it off going full circle, with Krakhous referring to someone losing their limbs as a free fleshlight. On the same day, another person by the name of Moonpii came out with their story, ranging all the way back from 2019. Thread on the Krakhous situation, please retweet. I have screenshots I'd like to share with you all. We met in a JoJo server and hit it off great. He apparently said my voice was adorable and immediately wanted to date. He even took me out on Minecraft dates. He messed with my mind and I feel terrible. Say daddy, I love you. Type oh yes daddy. I had a boyfriend at the time. I'd always fight with him, so Krakhous saw there's a chance to take me as his. Yes, I did date Krakhous for a brief moment before I met my ex-boyfriend. He hated my boyfriend and would always flirt with an emotionally unstable and lost child. I was coming from a home of abuse, so getting affection was a great thing for me. He even got my IP address on call and tracked down my house. He even showed me. I was utterly terrified. They also lie about their age a lot. Hey, my advice to you about Sammy is to block him or tell him his behaviour is creepy. You seem super nice and you probably don't want to hurt people's feelings. Yeah, I'd feel really bad if I blocked him, but at this point he's always trying to get Shredder in trouble, just because he really wants to date me. That's degenerate level. He wants to date me too and I'm 19, and he lied about his age to me and told me he'd be 18. One final thing, years after we resolved it and when she said she changed, she had me delete my previous tweets trying to call her out. She wanted me to delete them before her voice acting career. Whoops, I just wanted to ask if you still had blank in. Why? I do, but why? Because there's a tweet that's related to the old shit that we went through. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the bad stuff we talked with each other about. What do I need to delete? Here, this one. I'm sorry if this brings up bad memories, I just thought since we resolved it, you wouldn't mind. I'm really sorry. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Thank you. I'll try to talk to you more, I just haven't been feeling myself recently. I also like your profile picture. Thank you so much. Also, this happened when we matched profile pictures and everything. Do you have school today? No. Then sleep? No. Then get naked. Okay, I'm going to sleep. The response to the exposing of Krakhous was one of shock, disappointment and anger, and the story became a lot more popular and reaching than any of Krakhous' previous work. Some of Krakhous' old friends came out to talk about how this behaviour is concurrent with them, such as here. Official statement is one of Krakhous' ex-friends. I'd like to start this out by saying the fact that Krak is 18. They were my friend for almost 3 years. That being said, the way this victim in this situation talked about how they were called and such is 100% true as well, as the way they talked is definitely the exact words they used with me too. I am, however, an adult. This behaviour isn't okay at all towards a minor. I do not know the victim, but I'm confirming / backing up their statements. Krakhous' own response read as follows. Not acting like I can escape this because I can't. I'm really not good with words, and I know you guys don't want to hear I'm sorry. I already had a therapy appointment for the day after tomorrow, so I'm not going to hide from it, I promise. You can tell me to off myself all you want, I deserve it. I'm not going to give some bullshit apology for what I did. I take full accountability for everything, literally everything I did was my fault. It's such a bullshit apology, I know, but I don't know what to say. A few days later, according to multiple sources, Krakhous' therapist contacted the authorities. Considering as Krakhous says they live in Russia, I'm guessing the therapy wasn't as nice as some would believe. In the following days, as Krakhous deleted and privated the rest of their socials, they did try to rebrand elsewhere. Their TikTok was changed to Vanessa's Sweat Jar. Fucking hate these people. This was the same for Roblox as well, but VR chat was another matter. A few weeks later, someone messaged the Krakhous A-log account telling them about how Krakhous had been active on VR chat. So according to an IRL of mine, they were in VR chat and an Among Us world, and according to her, she met Krak. She said that she was flirting with her and her friends, calling Lolly Voice cute, and even friended one of her friends. I've been trying to get screenshots, but apparently my friend lost a friend request, and that her friend is offline right now. But what she told me seems right. This was about 2 weeks ago, when she met Krak, but apparently she's still online, and when my friend wanted to play with her, Krak, was busy in a private world. I'm not completely 110% sure, but I'm just telling what I know. From one of Krak's victims, I've heard she's still active, and I don't really want anyone else to get hurt like I did. Krakhous would come out and vehemently deny it though. I can come out and confirm that isn't me. I haven't touched VR chat, I promise. I just changed the username so if someone else wanted it, they could have it. I haven't touched VR chat, I genuinely think that someone is trying to add more dirt to pile. I've genuinely pushed myself on social stuff and don't want to interact with people for a very long time. And more than a year on, all that's left of Krakhous is a YouTube Bitcoin shill account and a Steam profile mocking those who come to Rage profile because of her actions. What worries me studying the case of Krakhous is how easily they managed to weasel themselves into the FNF community and gain access to all of these individuals. Krakhous cleared their past, took up voice acting in September, and within a month, got themselves on an FNF team and started getting followers, attention, and therefore power. I think the audience always needs to establish a degree of doubt when it comes to supporting those who make some of our favourite mods, because whilst it is good to give these people their credit for what they've done, you are giving them your attention based on a line or two in the description. Trust goes out from the same door the doubt comes in from. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and until next time, stay toasty.